You are listening to the Female Accountant Moms podcast with Dawn Goldberg, CPA. This is episode number 42, Believing New Things. Welcome to the Female Accountant Moms podcast, the podcast where busy female accountants, who also happen to be moms like you, get practical support and solutions you need to have it all, a successful career and a happy family. If you are looking for the solution to overwhelm and mom guilt, if you'd like to feel better and have more balance, as well as learn how to take back control of your life, you've come to the right place. Hi everyone, welcome back to this week's show. I hope you're staying cool because it is one hot day in New York. This is a summer day. Holy cow. I'm not a fan of the heat as much as some people are, so I am going to be staying in air conditioning today for sure. So let's get started with this week's show. This episode is number 41, and the title is Believing New Things. Before I explain why believing new things is important, I would like you to consider something for just a minute. Everything that we have created in the history of human existence started with a thought. Nothing has been shipped from another planet. All the materials for everything we have has always been here. Really, honestly consider that. Whether it's a candle or a light bulb, a piece of paper or an iPhone, everything that surrounds us, other than nature, has come into existence because of a thought. First comes the thought, then comes the thing. The greatest inventors created their greatest inventions by the power of their thoughts. They imagined something, they believed it was possible, they felt determined and inspired, and then they took action until it became a reality. There are also many people who imagined something and gave up when they felt discouraged or defeated. And whether you realize it or not, you are also a creator. Your brain is filled with sentences that are creating how you feel, fueling the things you do, which then culminates into your experience of life. You are the inventor creating your life. And from an early age, you've learned many things that have molded and shaped the sentences in your mind, but I'm pretty sure that you've never been taught how to think on purpose. You've most likely been just going along day by day, year by year, not really noticing the sentences that have morphed into beliefs. Believing new things, it takes awareness and practice, but the results will change everything for you. If you want to create a different future, you have to create something that hasn't existed in your past. So this week I'm going to discuss why believing new things is important and the process that makes it possible. So why believing new things is important. Even if you are living the life of your dreams, believing new things is still something worth taking a look at. The best athletes in the world still hire different trainers to help them grow and develop in ways that may be impossible with their current training. So if you want to remake your brain to think, feel, do, or have better than you have now, you need to know how to think new thoughts. It is a fundamental life skill that you've most likely never been taught until now. Since your primitive brain is motivated by efficiency, it has taken your repetitive thoughts over your lifetime and created just these nice, comfortable pathways that makes the brain easier to function. So for example, you were taught at a young age that 2 + 2 = 4. And you had that concept repeated over and over, creating a pathway in your brain that makes it seem instantaneous when needing to add 2 + 2. Your brain has become very comfortable with your pattern of thoughts, whether they are serving you or not. It doesn't stop and say, are you sure you want to keep thinking that? It takes the data you program it with, and it forms a personalized highway of roads in your mind leading from one point to another. Since your brain thrives on efficiency, it will not automatically offer you new thoughts. It's on a rinse and repeat cycle based on the highways you've already built in your mind. And in addition to thriving on efficiency, your brain also filters your beliefs and shows you evidence of their validity in order to keep the belief comfortably tucked in your mind. For example, if you've been thinking, my husband doesn't help me around the house enough, and it has become a belief, your brain will filter out all the times he is being helpful and nudge you to pay attention when he isn't. So as I shared in the previous blog, it was a few weeks ago, the problem with feeling justified. If you don't ask yourself the question, how is that thought serving me? Your brain is completely comfortable thinking the same thing over and over. It actually prefers that you don't challenge it with a powerful question like, how is that thought serving me? So if your belief is just a thought you keep thinking and you'd like to believe something new, how do you hack your brain's stronghold on your current beliefs? How do you believe something you don't yet believe? So that's what I'm going to talk about next, how to believe new things. And let me first say that the issue with accountants' brains is that when you analytically understand something, you believe that that should solve whatever problem you have. The mind work that I teach and that I coach on is not like understanding the tax code. It's more like learning a new skill or anything else that takes consistent practice and guidance. And if you've been following my weekly blogs and my podcasts and maybe my Facebook Lives, and you've been trying to apply what I teach, but still feeling stressed or overwhelmed, honestly, it's not your fault. Learning something new is like trying to take a red lipstick away from a toddler before they paint your white couch. You have to approach your brain delicately and show it that what you now want is better than what it's been comfortable with. There are different metaphors that can be used to show how to believe something new. But for this blog, I'm going to use the analogy of a bridge. So on one side of the bridge is what you currently believe, and on the opposite side is the new belief that you'd like to believe. In order to explain how to get across the bridge from where you are to where you'd like to be, I'm going to share an example to show you how to believe something new. So your current side of the bridge might look like this. You believe you're failing at work and you feel overwhelmed. Work keeps piling up with what appears to be no end in sight, right? Can anybody relate to that? I'm sure we all can. Your repetitive thought is, I'm no good at this. And your brain keeps showing you all the evidence that you are no good at work. Now, on the opposite side of the bridge, you would like to believe that you are doing great work and you'd like to feel confident. The thought that you would like to believe is, I'm very good at what I do. Now, in order to get across the bridge from where you are to where you'd like to be, I'm going to talk about the following steps. I'm suggesting these following steps. So step number 1, taking one step across the bridge, it just takes a gentle loosening of the grip your brain has on your current belief. And since you currently believe, I'm no good at this, the first step would be to add the phrase, I notice I keep thinking, ... This is especially helpful when you are stuck believing a current thought and you don't think you can even practice thinking anything else, right? You've just been believing it for so long. By adding the phrase, I notice I keep thinking, ... Each time you think, I'm no good at this, or I'm not good at this, you are hacking your brain and reminding it over and over, I'm no good at this is just a thought. It helps to give your brain a little distance from the stronghold that it has on your current belief. In the analogy of finding your toddler with the red lipstick about to color on your beige couch, you can first gently distract and have your toddler notice you instead of them being fixated on the couch. So step 1 new thought would be, I notice I keep thinking, I'm no good at this. Now we're going to go to step number 2. In order to take another step across the bridge, once you've practiced adding, I notice I keep thinking, ... It's helpful to attach a phrase either to the beginning or the end of the thought that's at the opposite side of the bridge. So let's say if the thought you want to have, which is the thought across the bridge, the thought you want to have is, I'm very good at what I do, then you could add a phrase to the beginning like, I'm practicing believing that I'm very good at what I do. Or you could say, it's possible that I am very good at what I do. Another option would be to add a phrase to the end like, I'm very good at what I do is something I'm trying to believe, or I'm very good at what I do is a sentence I hope to believe one day soon. Now again, it's just allowing your brain to be open to the possibility of believing something new. In the toddler analogy, step number 2 is like showing the toddler who is still holding the red lipstick a shiny box of safe crayons that have so many more interesting colors. So the step 2 new thought would be adding a phrase to the beginning of the desired thought like, it's possible that I'm very good at what I do, or adding it to the end, which would look like, I'm very good at what I do is something I'm trying to believe. So now step number 3, the next step to getting closer to believing something new is to get to a place of neutrality, a place where you aren't feeling positive or negative about the thought. It's a thought that your brain can currently believe. And this next step is really helpful because most people want to jump to a super positive thought, but it won't work because your brain doesn't believe it yet. It's like trying to light a dark room with like a lighthouse bright light, one of those super crazy bright lights. It's blinding and it's uncomfortable. Choosing a believable thought that feels neutral, something like, sometimes I do good work, or I've been told that I did a good job before, even if it relates to the past, this will relax the brain's old belief and introduce it to a midpoint thought across the bridge. In the toddler analogy, it's like bringing out coloring books and sitting at the table to color, which lets the toddler see that it can have even more fun doing this other thing. Now, step number 3, new thought, a suggested thought would be, I've been told that I did a good job before. So it's just getting you closer to being across the bridge. That's a neutral thought. It's something that your brain can believe about the past. Now that you've gotten to the midpoint of the bridge with that neutral thought, your brain is no longer white-knuckling the old belief that I'm no good at this, and is starting to be open to the better feeling thought that's across the bridge. In order to keep crossing over towards the thought, I'm very good at what I do, you're going to need to practice believable thoughts that feel incrementally better. You're basically putting planks down one at a time as you cross over the chasm between the thought that isn't serving you and the thought that will help you get the results that you really want. You just have to keep repeating the new better feeling thought, and your brain will begin to desire that better feeling more and more. The amazing thing is that with practice, the new belief will become your default belief. Your brain will give you all the proof you need of this new belief, making your travel across the bridge sturdy and safe. Once you've reached the other side, you will no longer see any reason to go back to where you came from. Before you start working on believing something new, it's important to get clear about where you are right now. Do you really need to start at step 1, or are you already feeling neutral? Is your brain super resistant to the new thought, or is it curious about this new thing that you'd like to believe? You may already passed step 1, 2, and 3, and just need to work on moving from a place of feeling neutral to a place of fully believing this new thing. The beauty of learning how to manage your mind and using the manage your mind model is that it doesn't matter where you begin, because crossing over the bridge to what you want to believe is achievable when you have the right tools and support to help you cross that bridge. And if you'd like some help with the Manage Your Mind model, you can get a free copy of 5 simple steps to reduce overwhelm today on my website at cpa-moms-coach.com. It all comes down to creating a new thought that feels better than your current thought. It takes committing to believing it, feeling it, and acting on it in order to have your new desired result. Whether you write the new thought on a Post-it, whether you set it as a reminder on your phone, or maybe you journal and write about it every morning. You write that sentence, that new thought that you want to think. It's important to practice and repeat, right? That's how your brain starts to create this new belief. So, what is the new belief that you would like to have but don't yet have? Sign up for a free mini coaching session and I'll help you see how you can cross the bridge to your new belief. So in summary, whether it's a candle or a light bulb, a piece of paper or an iPhone, everything that surrounds us other than nature has come into existence because of a thought. Believing new things takes awareness and practice, but the results change everything. Learning something new is like trying to take a red lipstick away from a toddler before they paint your beige couch. You have to approach your brain delicately and show it that what you now want is better than what it's been comfortable with. Taking one step across the bridge just takes a gentle loosening of the grip your brain has on your current belief. The beauty of learning how to manage your mind and using the Manage Your Mind model is that it doesn't matter where you begin, because crossing over the bridge to what you want to believe is achievable when you have the right tools and support. So that is it, my friends. That is episode number 42, Believing New Things. And I know sometimes our brain's like, that's too complicated. Just keep thinking what we've been thinking. And, of course, that's an option. But if you want to change the results in your life, if you want to feel better, if you want to take certain action, it all starts with your thoughts. And you really have to look at where you are right now, where you would like to be, and work towards crossing over that bridge. I like that analogy. Sometimes I use the analogy of a ladder, and I was like, ladder is good, but you're climbing up, and sometimes people have like fear of heights and they don't like ladders. So I kind of like the bridge thing. You might have an issue with bridges, but I thought that was a good analogy. So anyway, don't forget, I have a Facebook Live every week where I answer any listener's question. People will write in and ask me a question, and I'll go a little bit deeper into their personal question about one of these episodes. So if you'd like to ask a question, then you can just email me at dawn@cpa-moms-coach.com. Have a great week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like what you heard, be sure to click subscribe on your podcast app so you never miss an episode. You can also get my 5 simple steps to reduce overwhelm today for free by visiting me over at cpa-moms-coach.com. If you'd like some free coaching around an issue you are experiencing, go over to my website and schedule a free mini session.